Why go through the trouble of buying and building a bus? It actually started when we bought this house. This is Kim's first house and my second that we've ever owned. And I love owning a home. It's really nice to have a place that you can put down roots, a place that you can call your own, a place that you feel safe and can share time with family. But I feel like home ownership, like a lot of things in our society, it's been rigged. It's been rigged to make you a prisoner. Just hear me out. We bought this house in February of this year, 2024, and it's now the end of December. And I looked back at my mortgage statement from February to December to see what owning this home has cost me. Now, I'm not talking about maintenance. I'm talking about what did I pay for the right to own my home. Now, I don't live in a huge home. I'm not a wealthy person, so this is not a $500,000 or a $500,000 home. This is a modest sort of raised ranch over a basement. Now, from February to December, this house, our house, cost me just shy of $19,000. Now, that's not money that went toward my mortgage. That's taxes, that's insurance, and that's interest. I paid over $15,000 in interest from February to December on my home. See, they front load these mortgages, so at the very beginning you're paying large amounts of interest, and then as you go along with your mortgage you pay less and less. So the bank gets their money up front. For the honor, we pay up front for the honor of being able to borrow money to buy a house. And while I understand that banks have to be profitable and they have to make their money, front loading the mortgage so that the first 5, 10, 15 years you're just paying the bank basically and not putting very much money toward your principal, you're not building equity, that seems a bit predatory. Our interest rate's not great, it's like 7.5%, and we're refinancing, but still. So it really hit me. Home ownership is wonderful in one aspect, and it's very much a prison in the other, because my home, our home, kind of owns us. We have to stay working at our jobs, which we have 2 good jobs. Of course, we couldn't be able to afford this house if we didn't have good jobs, but we're locked in, man. We're locked in. So there's really, in my mind, there's a couple of ways to be rich, okay? You can make more money. You can chase more money and make more money, and that way you can be sort of quote unquote rich. The terrible. The other thing you can do is you can need less money. You can drive your expenses down to where you don't need to make much to live a rich, full life, full of experiences and family and friends. And so we've gone both ways. We went the way where we're now in more debt than we've ever been in our entire lives with this home and our life. And while I love my home, it's a great house, I don't like the debt. I don't like the fact that the home owns me, So we're going to slowly transition the other way to where we'll become rich by needing less money. It's a conscious effort to reduce what we own, but make what we own quality. So less is more. Yeah. It's that's why this project is started, to try and break free from to break free from the American dream with the picket fence and the house and the mortgage. So now, why a bus or an ambulance? Why choose one of these service vehicles versus an RV? Honestly, man, RVs are built to a terrible standard. They're built, the quality's garbage. Unless you get up into the $500,000, $1 million motor coach, custom built motor coach type build or RV, the quality is just terrible. The current sort of RV quality system is they'll slap them together with the knowledge that they're gonna fall apart once you own it. And then that's what the warranty period is for. So you're driving down the road and the cabinet door falls off, that's expected, that's normal. So you'll spend $150,000 on a really nice RV and you'll drive down the road, it'll fall apart. And they expect that because that's why you come back to them during the warranty period. I don't play that game. I don't like it. So everything about this bus is built to a higher standard and a better standard than an RV. The shell, the chassis, the engine, it's just better, more industrial. It does require a lot of work. Kim and I have been working on this now pretty much every moment of our spare time when the weather's nice, and sometimes when the weather's not nice, so we're still working on it. But we're gonna fill this bus with features that you can't find in an RV, and I know that when we're done, the build will be a higher standard than an RV, built to a quality that I can sort of hang my hat on and say, yes, this is the standard that I like and enjoy and will pay for. And ultimately, it'll cost less than a similar RV, a Class A diesel pusher. It'll cost less in the long run. That's why we did this. Listen to the rain. I grew up in Alabama and we had houses with tin roofs like this, and you could listen to the rain fall on the tin roof. Ugh. It's humid and cold. As long as I stay moving, it's not bad. But if I stop moving, it gets cold. It's kind of peaceful out here. Just me and the bus. Kim and I have an understanding. She does not care for fiberglass insulation. So she took down 99% of all the screws in the ceiling for me, and I told her that I would happily take down the fiberglass and clean it up. So she's done a lot of fiberglass work in her past, so she's like, I'm done, I'm over it. And I don't mind fiberglass. My skin is so thick it doesn't really bother me. When I lived in the ambulance, it was some of the best times of my life and some of the worst times of my life. It was some of the best times because I was debt-free. I was running every day. That ambulance, that small 98 square foot space, forces you to live outside of it. So I'd get up, I'd have breakfast, I'd have some coffee, and I'd go for a run. I'd run around a lake. I was living near a lake. It was some of the worst times of my life for my mental health. I just gone through a divorce. I was living alone, so I went from a house with 4 people and 2 dogs to living kind of in a van down by the river. And I was very depressed, and I was very alone. So this mobile lifestyle can be very isolating. And I had not found, nor had I sought out, a community of other people in my area to lean upon. And my family lived in Florida, and I hadn't met Kim. I hadn't met Kim yet. So you have to be very careful when you do the mobile lifestyle by yourself. It can be very isolating, especially when you're in a sensitive time in your life, when you've been through something kind of traumatic, your family's torn apart, and you're trying to put pieces back together, and the holidays have always been tough. But I have Kim in my life now, and I have our dogs, and I'm really looking forward to doing this again, to building another mobile vehicle, applying all the lessons I learned on the ambulance. Yeah, it's going to be good. So we're demoing. We got the seats out. We got the wheelchair lift out. And we're slowly but surely taking out internal sheet metal panels, and we'll pull the floor out. And so far I haven't found anything that has been really scary or, problematic. Everything's been pretty straightforward. I have ordered a 40-foot long by 20-foot wide billboard vinyl tarp, and it got stuck in Nashville over the Christmas break. So I don't know when it will be here. I'm going to drape it over the bus and sort of belt it underneath and hold it down, and then we'll take the windows out, and we can work and keep the inside relatively dry. Yeah. So why, if you have lived or chosen the mobile lifestyle, why did you do it? Was it necessity? Was it by choice to kind of drive your expenses down and live sort of more free? I want that. I want to travel and see the West and experience more of life and less of the grind. I don't mind hard work. I don't, and I will work hard. But I feel kind of trapped by the things that I own. The things that you own end up owning you. Yeah. I gotta get up. I'm getting stiff and cold. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.